Welcome to 500 Doors, your real estate podcast. Speaking with industry experts in real estate buying, selling, planning, developing, wholesaling, investing, financing, and management. If it's real estate, we're talking about it. I'm your host, Kim Hayden, an award-winning 6- and 7-figure real estate agent with over 2 decades of experience. Understanding real estate is a dream for many, that we, real estate professionals, have the ability to bring that dream to reality while building better communities and being the change we want to see. Alrighty. Welcome back. I am super excited to be here because I get to do what I love to do, and that's meet amazing people like Marcus. Marcus, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kim, for having me today.
I am okay. I'm a little flabbergasted here, folks, because Marcus reads like a decade experienced real estate agent, and I didn't look too deep in it because his background is phenomenal, and I loved what was seeing. But Marcus, he's just like literally 24 months into the business, so this is going to be really cool, getting a fresh perspective, but a successful, fresh perspective. Marcus is already, after just a couple years in the business, ranking in that top 10% in the United States. There's 1.8 million licensed real estate agents, last count that I have, my last numbers, which is a few months old, from National Association of Realtors. And Marcus is in that 2,700 mark of ranking for transactions and deals. So that is incredible. And that's why we invited him, because we want to see the agents who are serving community and performing. So, Marcus, take us away. It's a little bit of who is Marcus? Do you have 12 children and a little shoe with a wife in there? No. Are you available, Marcus? Because I've got a whole line of women who are looking. But tell us a little bit of who you are.
So yeah, I'm Marcus. I'm 40 years old. Well, actually, I'll be 40 in 13 days, August the 14th. So I'll be turning 40. I'm originally from Greenville, Mississippi. That's where I was born, but I've been here in the state of Georgia pretty much my entire life. I don't have 12 kids, but I do have one son. His name is Tristan. He's 15. He just started his sophomore year this year, and he is my absolute pride and joy. Like, he's the reason why I do everything that I do. Like, he's my big why. Uh, I love being a father. I'm a gym fanatic. I'm in the gym 2-3 times every day. And not just for the physical aspect, because it just helps keeps my mental on point. So it gives me a break from life and everything that's going on to just focus my mind. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. You can kind of see all the books in my background. Like, I've read each and every one of them, some of them 2 to 3 times. I love coffee. I'm a Starbucks connoisseur, so I can't live without it. I've been in the business, like you said, for 2 years. I started partway through 2022. Actually got my license in 30 days. I started out in real estate. And once I started, it was like, hey, I don't just like this. Like, I love this. And it just, went to another level. I'm a diehard Georgia Bulldog fan. I know you're from Kansas, but it's Go Dogs here in Georgia.
There you go. I love Georgia. Like, I've been down there. I've been to Georgia, I think 3 times. The last time we went, I literally drove 9,000 kilometers from Calgary, Alberta to Atlanta for a
Oh,
conference.
wow.
But you know what? We miss so much when we don't drive. We miss
Right.
so much. The people I met, like, even just like stopping in at local coffee shops or
Mhm.
filling stations, and getting the stories of the individuals, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is,
Mhm.
it really brings you in touch. And I love that whole area. My next step, though, is to go to Nashville. I have to say, never been to Nashville. Been to New Orleans and Atlanta several times for different
Mhm.
events and such. So very familiar with that space. But my girlfriends keep saying, Nashville. We have to do Nashville. I guess it's a huge resurgence down there. So
Yes.
that's good. It's like the whole South has just like there's just something. It's like post pandemic. There's this rediscovery The South is not what was once thought of. The
Right.
South is now kind of like that new, it's Hollywood South. It's the new entertainment district. I mean, I will tell you, I have never seen talent like I've seen on the streets of New Orleans. So you
Yep.
just sit here and you go down to the South, you're seeing, we've been to so many, shows and such, and it's like, I just love it. I love it. But I love it the most in January and February and March. It's snow here in Calgary. I want to be fully transparent, folks. I do not like -40 and shoveling.
No
Okay,
way.
so tell us about your market. Where are you at, and who are you serving? What is the market you're serving?
Okay, so my market is Middle Georgia, so slap right here in the middle of the state. So my predominant cities are Warner Robins, Bon Air, Kathleen, Perry, Byron, and Macon, and then we have a few rural towns: Fort Valley, Hawkinsville, Lizella. So I try to keep it right there in that center hub in Middle Georgia.
Excellent. Excellent. And so what do you love about, like, working in having a focused target area? What do you love about it?
Because I love having a focused target area because it allows me to just hone in and zoom in to be an expert in that area. So I love numbers. I love to study numbers. So, if you're trying to be everywhere, it's kind of hard to be great in all the places. I mean, there's a lot of cities, a lot of counties, right? There's a huge distance, even though I'm licensed in the state of Georgia, to be able to work from the bottom of Georgia to the top of it. I don't think it gives me an opportunity to just be really good in a specific area where people need me. So just to be able to tune in to that middle Georgia, it allows me to be the resource that the people here need to come to me for anything, any type of market statistics, how many days it's been on market, what's the average sales price. So in my middle Georgia area, you can come to me for any statistic and I'll be able to tell it to you.
Amazing. And that's really important when the market has been so volatile. Out of curiosity, what did you do before this? What is your background?
So my background, I have a degree in business management and also in marketing. So before I got into real estate, my last job, I was working with Target on the supply chain side. I was an operations manager there. So I had a injury outside of work, which took me out of work for a while, and that's the time when I decided, okay, well, I'll go ahead and start studying, get my real estate license, and it was just something I, didn't take serious. It was something to do while I was out on leave from work. And once I did it, I never went back to work.
It is a lifestyle. Real estate is not a career. If you're a career, if it's just a career or a job, it's not, you're not in it for the right
Yep.
reasons. It's not tweaking that spark inside. It's not filling that hole. But real estate is absolutely a lifestyle.
Yep.
Um, what do you think separates you? Do you think it's that background, that love of real estate? What do you think separates you from other agents? Why are you seeing the successes that you're seeing just 24 months into this whole journey that others have not been able to achieve in 20 years?
I think with me, it's just like my overall will to win. And then when I say win, I don't just mean it as a hey, me better than you or just a competitive thing. I mean it in the sense of if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it wholeheartedly. I want to give it my very, very best. So if I dive into it, I'm either all in or I'm all out. There's no in between with me. So I just think that my sheer passion, and when I got into real estate, like I was telling you, I just fell in love with it. It's almost like I found my purpose. So it's not work to me. I absolutely love to do it. And I think another thing that separates me is just discipline. I think it's Tim and Julie Harris. They had a quote when it's like, hey, discipline is more of doing the things you don't want to do when you don't want to do them, but doing it as a high level. And you're an agent, there's several agents. There's a lot of things we don't feel like doing. You don't feel like picking up the phone and call people. You don't want to knock on anyone's doors. You don't want to send the email. But it takes discipline to be consistent in doing those things to get the results that you want to get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I say the word community, especially being a father,
Mhm.
what does the word community mean to you?
When I think of the word community, I also think of the word family, a closeness. I think it's more so of a group of people that can come together for a common goal under any circumstances. When times get rough, when somebody needs you, and I just think it just means to be able to give freely, have a heart of giving, and without expecting anything in return. And I think here in Middle Georgia, I think we do have a community like that. Everyone's willing to pitch in to help each other. If someone's house burned down, we have groups on Facebook to where, hey, everybody will pitch in to donate clothes. Or if kids, less fortunate kids, didn't have coats for school, we're going to be there to go buy coats and donate them, or school supplies. Like, to me, that's what a community is. It's a family. Yep.
It's a family. And I
Mhm.
agree. I agree, and I think that gets lost on a lot of people who go into real estate, especially with the influence we've had over the last 32 years with HGTV. Not anything bad. I love HGTV.
Mhm.
Guys, I have decoupaged, I have sponge painted, I have revamped old materials into something new I didn't really need, but I made it.
Yeah.
So I love HGTV, but the reality is I think that it went so down the rabbit hole of transactional real estate that it
Mhm.
really missed the relationship. And it missed the fact that great, we all love to look at multi-million dollar listings, but here's the reality.
Yeah.
Most of us are just dreaming of our own four walls. And
Right.
those aren't multi-million. And I think that there's almost this disrespect when we don't recognize and honor each individual's goals, no matter if that's a 900 square foot attached home or mobile home,
Mhm.
or if that's a 9,000 square foot multi-million dollar property. I think
Yeah.
there needs to be honor back into people's goals and aspirations,
Yeah.
because then that gives a sense of pride. And
Right. I totally agree.
that's what I loved about, honestly, when I was going and was looking at your current listings and everything. I loved the fact that I could see that you were serving every market entry
Mhm.
point, every market
Yeah.
point. And that was like, we do research every person that comes on the show, because I want to make sure that if somebody sees the show and they say, "Oh, I'm in that area," or "I have a cousin in that area," this guy sounds super cool. Let's call him. I just want to make sure that I'm building a community of value, right?
Right. And you're right, Kim, because to me, no one's better. So, the guy that wants to list with me that has a $90,000 house, I'm going to treat him the same way as the guy that lists with me with the $900,000 house. We're all people. So you're going to get the same support. You're going to get the same service because we're equal. So, I don't treat anyone better. I'm not going to turn down a buyer or a seller just because they're not at a certain price point. No, my ultimate goal is to make your goals become a reality. So no matter what that goal is, big or small, I got you.
I love that. I love that. I knew I liked you for a reason. Um, let's talk hidden gems. So, next person that comes to your market, where should they go? Like, what should they check out? What's something that you love about your communities?
So Warner Robins, I love the city, and mainly because it's a military community. We have Robins Air Force Base here. So the hidden gem, one of my favorite places, is the Museum of Aviation. It's just so much cool stuff in there. So if you ever visit, I definitely advise you to check out the museum because there's, like I said, there's so much history there. It's a hidden gem. Then another thing, in Middle Georgia, if you look at the cities I serve, and Warner Robins is pretty much the main city, it's not metro like Atlanta. We're 2 hours south of Atlanta, and it's not as rural as some of the smaller towns. So you get the best of both worlds. You get a country feel, but also a city feel. So it's a mixture of both. And then, a lot of big cities have, a lot of major corporations and things like that. So here, small business make the world go round. So there are small businesses everywhere, from cupcake shops to mechanics to coffee shops. Like, you just had an opportunity to visit all these different mom and pop shop, and the people. Have you? And I know you're from North, but if you heard of Southern hospitality,
Oh yeah,
it's
honey.
real.
I'm
You know.
from Kansas originally. We're right on the northern tip of that southern hospitality. We're not quite southern. We're more mid, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a real thing, so people, this community is welcoming. I've seen just from the real estate market, we have people migrating here from everywhere, from California, New York, Florida, Texas, right here into this middle Georgia area. And it's driving some of us crazy because the roads are not big enough now. So we're stuck in traffic.
And they all come with the car.
Exactly.
The aviation museum sounds amazing. We have one here in Calgary, and they just got there was a it's called, I would think it's called the Mosquito. It was one of the few wooden bi pedal planes or something like that, but it's a
Hmm.
wooden plane. They found it like in
Okay.
this, yeah, and like part of it had rotted out. They just refurbished it. I am
Oh
dying to
wow.
go check it out because I'm going, a wooden plane.
Oh
Hmm.
wow. That's a
Don't
little
drop your
scary.
cigarette, folks. um,
Yeah.
we know that buying and selling can be a very stressful time. What is
Mhm.
something that you can share? Like, what would you say to people who are looking to move, buy or sell, to help them be able to enjoy the process as much as possible?
I would probably, just be able to speak to, you know, the reality of the statistics and numbers. You have these headlines that a lot of people listen to, especially the stage that we're in now with interest rates, prices, and things like that. But to be able to share the actual data, I think it's a little bit more comforting to buyers and sellers for them to know, hey, this is the direction the data is telling us that the market is going. The actual numbers about that community from a seller standpoint. Hey, this is where we see the appreciation heading, or this is how much your home is actually worth, or this is where rates are, driving the market. So just to be able to speak to what's actually happening in the market, I think that helps buyers and sellers a whole lot. And then as you as an agent, by knowing that, it just gives you a little bit more credibility because buyers and sellers, they most times they're in panic mode. They live life on the edge. So for you to be someone to be able to kind of calm them down and just help them know reality versus what's not reality, I think it goes a long way.
That's that honesty space, and I totally agree. We can get caught in
Mhm.
misinformation or overstimulated, and now I'm 55, so I'm a bit older. And when I first
No way.
started, and I am 55. Yeah, that's because I live in a snowdrift. There's no sun for 6 months out of the year.
Wow. We
Um,
definitely have plenty of sun here in Georgia to share.
yeah, that's literally, I am working right now to ensure that I can travel after doing, 2 decades frontline as a seller representative, predominantly. I never wanted to leave or go on vacation because I always wanted to be there, be accountable, be, accessible by my clients. And now that I'm no longer frontline on that, it's like, okay, where am I going in January? I have
Hmm.
Mike, we'll travel. um, yeah, no, I love everything you're saying because we can get disinformation from
Hmm.
the media. And the reality is the interest rates right now are better than they were in the 1990s and in the
Hmm.
early 2000s. The early 2000s, we were still writing at 11%. You go back to the 80s, we were at 26%,
Hmm.
21%. So at a 4 to 7% range, then the lenders still make money, which means they can now lend out in other places, which, could be
Hmm.
to community enhancements, to your town hall, to they can support in other ways because that's really what all that goes into. And I think
Right.
that it's just been that whiplash effect.
Yep.
Free
Yep.
money to, oh wait, money isn't free anymore. I'm hoping that we can actually stabilize out within that thought process, because then I think that puts some more value or weight
Hmm.
to the the real estate process. There is a
Right.
there is a cost to it, but then there is also a legacy and a reward to it.
Yep. 100%.
What's advice, especially being, and this is still blowing my mind, 2 years, but honestly, having a business degree, that makes all the difference. That is that
Yes.
net when I hear that you're not coming from a sales perspective, you're coming
Hmm.
from a business perspective. So that
Hmm.
I can see why you have been able to build this in just the 2 years. Because the average real estate agent, for those of you who don't know what the stats are, the average real estate agent is out 87% will be out of the
Yeah.
business within 36 months.
Right.
Whereas I think at 36 months, you're going to be in the top 5%. In general, just like I think that's where you're going to be. And I think by the time you hit your 4 years, you're probably going to be in the top 1%. Just based on the business, the way you're treating this with the respect it's treat. This is not a uh, and nothing against people who sell shoes. I have a girlfriend
Right.
in Italy shopping for shoes for her store. Totally different, but it's not a sales job at a local mall.
Right.
That
Exactly.
is that it's not like working
Yep.
the kiosk. This is a CEO
Yep.
mindset,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
Knowing that, what's one thing, one thing that you think all agents who are graduating and getting their license now need to
Mhm.
implement in order to see them beat that 87% fail rate?
Yeah. So kind of what you just stated, Kim. As far as go into it as a business. Don't go into it as, hey, this is a hobby. This is something I just thought about doing. You have to go into it looking at it as a business. And what goes hand in hand with that, I would tell all new agents, you have to be consistent and you have to be disciplined. So one of our the main aspects of our job is the discipline to prospect. So that's where I see a lot of new agents kind of, well, I don't want to use the term fail, but kind of lack doing, and that's prospecting. So you always want to be speaking with people, and that's the importance of community. People, family, wherever you are, have your business cards with you. Let people know what you do. The problem is not lack of business. If people don't know you, then you're not going to have the business to do. So be consistent in number one, you're prospecting. And it's not just, hey, just looking for people to sell to, but actually build relationships with. So always try to be building relationships because that goes further than anything else that you can do.
Your net worth is in your network,
Yep.
and don't be an undercover agent,
Hmm.
and don't be afraid to approach when you if you truly believe that you're offering value,
Hmm.
don't be afraid to share that, because
Right.
um when I know most agents, when they make money, they also serve different nonprofits and charities, and they really do become an integral part of their community's
Hmm.
well-being. So if you want to be an integral part of your community's well-being, don't be an undercover agent. Treat it like the business it deserves to be treated. Treat it like the business that your clients deserve for you to show up and
Yep.
treat it as. I think you are awesome, and I know that if we have this conversation in 2-3 years, you are going to be in that top 1%, because you have the foundation, and
Hmm.
you have the personality. So real estate really is a three-part equation. It's
Right.
investing the time, leveraging the technology, and having the talent that connects. Those three T's, time, tech, and talent, those three
Hmm.
T's, if properly balanced, it's kind of like the three P's. Have you ever heard of um, um, the triple bottom line?
The three P's.
Yeah, the three P's of the
Yep.
triple bottom line: people, purpose,
Yep.
planet, or sorry,
Yep.
people, purpose,
People purpose
profit.
passion.
Yeah. So I that's my triple bottom line for what makes a great agent is the three
Yep.
T's, and that's having the time and investing the time, have being
Hmm.
disciplined, invest the time, leveraging the technology so you have all the correct information and you can relay that information,
Hmm.
And technology is critical in this business, absolutely essential. And the third one is having the talent to be able to walk up and shake somebody's hand with pride and purpose. And
Right.
you've got it all. And I really appreciate your time, Marcus. Like
Of course.
this is I this was awesome. Like I said, the average length in the business that I've been interviewing on this show has been over 2 decades.
Wow.
And
That's
I
flattering.
you are amazing. You are amazing. I appreciate your time. All right, folks.
Of course.
Reach out to Marcus if you're in his area or you're curious as to where to go and what to do. And I bet you if you're going down for vacation with a little seed in your mind that maybe this is where you want to plant your new roots, reach out to Marcus. Marcus, until we meet again, thank you so much for sharing all that you do and how awesome you are.
Of course, Kim, and thank you for having me on today.
Absolutely. Until next time, people, take care of yourself. Don't fall. Thank you for joining us at the 500 Doors Your Real Estate Podcast. Be sure to join our Facebook group at Real Estate Success with 500 Doors. Keep on watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, because we all know sharing is caring.